So I see on your resume here that you're fluent in English, Spanish, and French. We don't have a lot of Spanish or French speaking customers, but if we do, I'm hoping that we can count on you for those translation services. Yeah, I'm happy to offer translation services. Does that come with an additional payment? Is it separately invoiced whenever you have to use my services, or how does that work? No, your pay doesn't include bilingual services. Your the salary that we're currently offering, it's just in general, but we do ask that you participate actively in the improvement of our company, and sometimes we have to communicate with, people who don't speak our language, and you would be a great asset if you could just do that for us, sort of like a favor. Out of sheer curiosity, if I were to not be available to translate, or I wasn't fluent in multiple languages, how would you communicate, or how have you been communicating with your non-English speaking clients? We would contact the translator line that we've been using. So, so your company's willing to pay a translator line to translate, but you're going to have someone in-house that can provide these services on demand whenever needed, and you're not willing to pay extra for that. And the reason I'm asking is because I paid a lot of money to learn French and to become fluent in Spanish. And it wasn't a favor that someone did for me. I had to put in the time and I had to put in the effort to learn these languages, even English. I'm fluent in English, and that's something that not a lot of people can say these days. So it's just funny to me that you use the word favor, but you're willing to pay a translator line. So, as far as my bilingual efforts, again, you can either add pay to my salary to use those, or I can invoice you separately whenever they're needed, or we can just remove them as an option altogether and I can just completely speak English all the time. Hi, team. We have some great news today. There will be a 5% across the board increase for everyone on the team. There are some additional updates that I need to share with you. Because of this increase, you will likely be now in the next tax bracket up. So that is something that you'll have to look out for. Another thing is that the amount that we pay for your health insurance is going to have to go down a little bit. So you'll be paying an additional 7% on your health insurance. You'll see that pretty soon on your paychecks. And you know how you guys only pay $5 for any lunch that you get at the cafeteria? Because of this increase, we will be having to increase that amount by another 10%. So you'll be paying just a little bit more for your lunch, okay? Any questions? Veronica? When is the increase effective? So your 5% increase is effective in about 90 days. The other increases, as far as your health insurance, the cafeteria, and most likely your tax bracket, those are effective immediately. So we're getting a 5% salary increase, but then everything else is increasing by 17%. Where are we benefiting from this? Because I understand if, everything else increased by 1%, but the increase to the insurance premiums and our lunch is increasing, three times the amount of our hourly increase. How does that benefit us? What do you mean? How do you benefit from this? You're getting 5% more per hour. That's a lot of money. You know what? This is sometimes why we don't do these things, because no one is grateful. Everybody's so ungrateful that we fought for 5% for you guys. Team, I just quickly want to reiterate, cell phones are not permitted to be out at your desk. Okay, let me say that again. Cell phones are not permitted to be out at your desk. We deal with a lot of sensitive information. We don't want to compromise a client's account. So cell phones are not permitted at your desk. It's in the guidelines. We explained it to you when you were hired and you agreed to it. So I've been seeing cell phones out. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay? Veronika, can I see you before you leave the meeting? Thank you. Thank you for staying behind, Veronika. I just need to talk to you about something. We've tried to contact you a couple times at home about some time-sensitive matters, and it looks like you're not responding. You never respond when we try to communicate with you. I've tried email, texting. I've even tried calling a few times, and it's just impossible to get a hold of you. Can you shed some light on why? No problem. Yeah, I'm happy to shed some light on it. I'm providing my family the same courtesy that I'm providing you while I'm here at work. So when I'm at work, as you just mentioned in the meeting, I'm not allowed to have my phone. I'm not allowed to check in on my family and make sure that they're okay, which I understand. We do deal with sensitive information. So when I'm at home with them, I'm not doing anything that's work related. My contract, as you mentioned, says 9 to 5. So after 5, I'm unavailable. Did you want to see the contract? No, I don't need you to show me your contract. How do we fix this? Because we need to be able to contact you. There's always a solution. So you can provide me a company cell phone and pay me from 5 to midnight. I don't assume that you're going to have to contact me after midnight. And I will be more than happy to be available. But I will need my same salary from 5 to midnight as well as the company cell phone. We can't do that. We can't pay you indefinitely, and we can't provide a cell phone. Um, it's more of sort of being a team player, if that makes sense. I'm sure it makes sense to someone, but I'm available 9 to 5. You can pay me for my time after that if you need me to be available. But no, I'm not giving up time with my family, my alone time. I'm not giving up my time outside of this office to you for anything. So I am a team player from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Okay, thank you. Hey, Veronica, do you have a second? Don't I always? It was brought to my attention that you have a second job. Yes, I do have a second job. I advised you guys, I think right at the beginning of the year when you guys send out an email asking if we have a second job. We really would just prefer if you didn't have a second job. We like our people to focus. What do you mean you would prefer that I didn't have a second job? Why does my second job have anything to do with this job? We really just prefer for you to focus, on one job, if that makes sense. Well, as long as I do my job here, when I'm here, you don't have to worry about me not focusing on doing my job here, because I do that when I'm here. After 5 p.m. when I go home, you have nothing to do with that. You don't need to worry what I'm doing with my free time. But I'm not going to let go of my second job. Listen, girl, I completely get where you're coming from. I just, we like to hone it in. We like to keep our people focused here, avoid any conflicts of interest. It's just very important to us for our employees, our staff, to not be boggled down with, 100 other thoughts from other jobs. I mean, if it's that important to you, I'm actually willing to let it go. Really? Okay, good. That's great. Yeah, I'll let it go. I'm just going to need a new offer letter reflecting the salary increase that I'm going to get to make up for what I'm going to be losing from my second job. So exactly what I'm losing over there is what I need you to bump up my salary to here. Now, Veronica, I can't do that. I can't do that. But I thought you preferred me to only have one job. If you prefer me to only work for you, then you're going to do what it takes to keep me only working for you, right? That's what it's going to take. With the cost of living now, there's no way people, including myself, can survive on just one job with a mediocre salary. So I'm happy to quit, but I expect you to make up the difference. Otherwise, you don't have to worry yourself about my second job at all.